Hi ASP students, it's Mark with my cool down show me video now. So we've done the warm up and that's quite a much longer answer really in terms of the hot terms that you need to know. For the cool down there is less information and you'll be pleased to hear that, of course. Again, we have to look at the stages of the cool down and the general reasons for undertaking a cool down. Then you'll also refer to the skeletal muscle tissue reasons for a cool down and the vascular system reasons. So general reasons, skeletal muscle tissue reasons, and vascular system reasons. It's the same as the warm-up in terms of the reasons you should be looking at for why we do a warm-up and why we do a cool-down. Now, the key reason for a cool-down is to speed up recovery. Okay, so you're ready for your next bout or next session of exercise. So you undertake one to make sure your body's going to be ready for next time you want to exercise. And there's two stages. 1, 2 here on the left. Number 1 is a light jog, very low intensity, about 30 to 40% of max effort, and it is about 5 to 10 minutes, so it's not very long. And you gradually decrease or reduce the intensity. So it might be quite a brisk jog at first, but you would bring that down gradually over the 5 to 10 minutes. You would then engage in some static stretching. Now if you remember, dynamic stretches were used in the warm-up, kind of bouncing movements or swinging movements around the joint. This one is stretching the gastrocnemius and soleus right here with the arrow and would be held for about 10 seconds. And that helps to realign the muscle fibers. Okay, so that's a key term there. It prepares the muscles for the next bout of exercise and returns them to their resting length or resting position. Okay, so that's the reason for the 2 stages. Now, often in a cool down, there are other factors that can be used in your recovery. If I just clear all this just quickly, we can look at the use of ice or cold therapy. It's been around for a long time now and it's supposed to reduce the swelling in the muscles that comes about after exercise. It's a natural response. It's all at a microscopic level. You don't see your leg ballooning in front of you, but you do have swelling at a microscopic level, and you also have tiny microscopic tears. So it tends to reduce something called DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. Delayed onset muscle soreness. And that's that feeling about 48 hours after exercise when your muscles feel very sore and tired. It's not really to do with lactic acid in any way. It's to do with these microscopic tears and the swelling that occur after an intense exercise. Think back to if you've ever gone skiing and you've been doing a week's skiing and you've not really trained or prepared for it. Quite often the next day your legs feel absolutely, like if you touched them they would leap off you. They're that painful. And that is DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. And cold water therapy or ice has been deemed to help with that recovery and to decrease the effects of that swelling and microscopic tears. And another latest development, you may see a lot of performers wearing compression clothing. Now we're not talking about your typical cycling shorts here. We're talking about specialist brands like Skins and 2XU. So Skins is one of the companies. And compression gear is supposed to enhance rate of recovery by decreasing this muscle soreness. Say decrease muscle soreness. There's obviously a lot more detail around that area, but at AS level, that's all you need to better perhaps mention as part of the cool down. And of course, after any competition or training, a good night's sleep and good nutrition will also help recovery. So those are another 2 key hot terms: good sleep or quality sleep, 8 hours at least, and quality nutrition, so some good protein and nutrients from your vegetables and other contents of your main meal. Okay, So, let's get down to some key reasons why. Just clear that. Firstly, what we want to get rid of and why we do the cool down is that you will have produced waste products. And the two main waste products that you will have produced as a result of your exercise are lactic acid and CO2, carbon dioxide. Now, if you keep moving after exercise, if you keep moving, your cool down, you are keeping blood flow to the muscles. Let's just get that written down for you there. So that is your cool down there. So by doing that, you are flushing the capillaries with oxygenated blood. So that is going through the muscles to help recovery, and you are flushing out lactic acid and CO2. So like a cleansing process, getting rid of those waste products after exercise. Okay, so let's move on to some key terms for skeletal muscle right now. We've already mentioned it in a little bit of detail, but these microscopic tears we talked about, we want to decrease this phenomenon known as DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, that horrible feeling after about 48 hours after exercise, and it decreases the risk of that. So cool down decreases the risk of it occurring. There's a lot of science obviously behind that, but there's a lot of evidence for the cool down having that positive impact. Again, allowing you to return to exercise sooner, so your next session is quality in the gym or quality out on the roads running. And like I said, the cool down is a briefer area, and we now look at the vascular system reasons for a cool down, and you can link it to that flushing out of the system. If you think about when you have finished exercise, say you're running on a treadmill, a cool down helps to ensure that venous return is maintained. So blood returning to the heart. There's my heart diagram, not very good, is it? There we go. So returns blood to the heart. Now if you engage in a cool down, it's going to ensure that all your mechanisms of venous return, or to enhance venous return, are occurring. So we don't get blood pooling, which is a phenomenon or an occurrence, for example, when you finished running and the blood remains pooled or accumulates in the extremities like your legs and your feet, and it hasn't been returned back to the heart, and you feel quite faint because there's a lot more of your blood volume down in your extremities, your legs. So we want to ensure that we are returning blood back up to the heart so that it can then pump blood obviously up to the head and prevent us from feeling lightheaded. So it's really important that you engage in this cool down to prevent this term, blood pooling, from occurring. And this is obviously done via having such mechanisms as the muscle pump. So if you're working in your cool down, your muscles will squeeze on the veins that are flowing through them and help to ensure that blood is returned from your feet up to your heart, venous return. And that will ensure that your stroke volume is maintained. Okay, so you feel normal basically. is the main reason why you would do that. So you can see there's obviously a few less terms, but we've covered in quite a lot of detail. And that, ladies and gents, is why you undertake a cool down, and you should undertake a cool down after your exercise sessions. Well, I hope those have helped, and obviously don't forget to ask your teacher any questions if you're unsure. Thanks, ladies and gents. Bye for now.